Hello, welcome to the video series of Red Hat Certified System Administration course. I have just freshly installed a RHEL 6 version. As you can see here, this is the default color of the RHEL 6, and I have created just one file that I will open now. In this file, I have listed all the things that we're going to talk about in this course, the video course, one step at a time. So these are the topics of this video course series. The first thing is we will talk about the exam, how the exam is conducted, what are the things that you should do in the exams, what are the things that you should not do in the exam, how the Red Hat certified instructor is going to conduct the exam. So things that you should know, the do's and don'ts of the exam. Without knowing these things, it would be very difficult to pass the exam. Then we are going to talk about the objective of the exam. This objective is defined by the Red Hat University, and they are expecting a Red Hat certified system administrator to know some specific things. So if you are an RHCSA candidate out in the market, then people would know that you know these specific things, and they would expect certain things from you. So what are the objectives of the exams, and how you should work towards it. And how you're going to work towards it is with a lot of practice. Obviously, you will have to install a RHEL 6, so I will talk about how to get RHEL 6, how to install that, and how to do the practicing. Especially we will be using a lot of virtual machines, and that will give us some enough bandwidth on practicing the RHCSA topics. And that takes us to the next step, which is the syllabus for the RHCSA exam. And as you can see, there are quite a few topics here, starting from the user administration and the group administration. Starting from that all the way to the last topics that I have listed here are some virtual host related topics and run level related topics. As you can see, I have listed around 22 topics, and there might be some extra here and there because I have included some important topics in subtopics also. So this is what we'll go through. User administration, you should be very strong in that, because as a system administrator, Unix system administrator, you will be doing that a lot. Then the directories and permissions, you should be very clear on the concepts of all the permissions, the read, write, execute permissions, and obviously the special permissions. That is also a very important topic from the certification point of view. Then the storage management. Our goal is to become very strong on the disk storage management. So you will be learning a lot about partitioning tools, fdisk, and then you will be learning about the logical volume manager, the physical volumes, the volume groups, logical volumes, snapshots, how to take backups. All that stuff will be discussed in section 4.4. Then we will also jump into the file system, mounting of the file system, unmounting of the file system, monitoring of the file system, the disk space utilization. That is also a very important topic from the monitoring point of view if you are going to start your career as a system administrator. Then the swap space management, you may need to change that from time to time if the RAM on the machine is going to be changed. So we will see that also, because it is one of the important topics for system administration. And obviously IO redirection, commands like find, grep, sed, cut, awk, all these commands heavily use the IO redirection, the piping, the capturing of standard in, standard out. Those things will be discussed here. Then many organizations, they may not be using LDAP for authentication, but I think as time progresses, many of them will start using it. So how to use LDAP authentication for users, that is the topic of discussion in this section. And then NFS is something, network file system, that we will discuss how to access data from a different server. And our focus here will be exporting the file system and then auto mounting the file system. So these two topics, LDAP and NFS auto mounting, they kind of go hand in hand, and we'll discuss them together. Then resolving some boot problems, that is also something which is important to us. Obviously networking is very, very important, how to configure your system so that it can resolve the IP addresses and the network host, so using DNS, then the gateways, the netmask, IPv4. We will not go into details of IPv6. In fact, our focus is going to be only version 4. And then we will talk about two important topics: YUM client, yellow dog updater, and the RPM, that is Red Hat Package Manager. So these two are important topics from the installation point of view. And then scheduling using cron, then setup of some servers. The two important servers from the certification point of view are FTP and HTTP. We will not go into the details of these servers because they are covered in much more detail in the next certification exam, which is RHCE, Red Hat Certified System Engineer. So our goal would be just to understand the basic installation and configuration of these FTP and HTTP servers. Obviously, along with that, you must open some ports in the firewall. So firewall configuration at the basic level will be discussed. Kernel updation, how do you update a kernel from the previous version to the next version? That is an important topic from the RHCSA point of view, and that goes along with the grub configuration also, which is the bootloader. And then certain other important topics like NTP server synchronization and virtual host and run level configuration. So these are important topics from the certification point of view. Now, don't get overwhelmed with these topics. I have just gone through all of them very quickly just to give you a brief idea about what things we will be discussing. But as you will see, if you keep your attention on all these videos and take good notes, I would highly recommend that you take notes while you're listening to the videos. You can pause and take the notes also if the video seems to be a little faster. And that will give you some good understanding, and it will prepare you very quickly for the RHCSA certification. So that's the introduction, and then we will actually jump into the first topic here about the exam, and we will go into the details. So I will now stop this video. My goal is to keep the videos short, not more than 6 to 7 minutes. Maybe sometimes I will go over the limit, but at least not more than 10 minutes. And so feel free to repeat them and take notes, as I have already mentioned. And I will see you in the next video. So see you until then.